Next up, we've got from the Iron Man Retro Card Wave, Iron Man Model 9. The way I got it figured.
The way I got it figured.
What's up, figure fans? I got it figured back with another Marvel Legends review. This time we're looking at Iron Man Model 9 from the latest Iron Man Retro Card Wave. So I bought this figure. I bought him in Walmart, I think, and I was slow to get him, but he was always planned to be gotten. And I think maybe 2 weeks later after I got him, he started showing up at Ross for like $12.99. But I had already bought him. I paid full price for him. I was willing to pay full price for him. Just wish I could have got him for $12.99, but hey, whatever. So we're gonna get his review and why did I buy this version of Iron Man? Well, it's one of my favorite versions of Iron Man. In the very late 80s and early 90s, this was Iron Man before he got the modular armor that is on the package. So this is literally the version before that. So the modular armor on the box was actually a suit where Tony Stark wasn't even in the suit. It was like a robot. He was controlling it mentally because he was paralyzed. So you had this modular armor. Now on the cartoon for Iron Man, this was the armor that he had on, and Tony Stark in the armor. And the modular Iron Man suit that they made with the alternate Tony Stark head and everything, that's literally from the cartoon with the mullet and all of that. So before that though, this was the Iron Man suit that came after the Silver Centurion armor, which was destroyed in a battle with a sort of one-off villain called Firepower. And he built this new suit, came back, demolished Firepower, and then this was Iron Man. He rejoined the Avengers in this outfit because he had left the Avengers for a while he was wearing the Silver Centurion armor. And he was actually pretending to be a different person than Tony Stark. There was a whole lot of stuff going on with that. There's actually two versions of this armor. One drawn by Bob Layton, sort of like the skinny version, and then John Romita Jr. took over for a stint on Iron Man Armor Wars 2, and he drew it in a more, let's say, bubbly fashion. And this is kind of like the bubbly fashion version of Iron Man in that armor. I actually have the other Iron Man, but it's woefully undersized. It's just out of scale with anything. This is before they sort of started figuring out that on Marvel Legends they were going to kind of try and make them in a consistent scale. So this is definitely an upgraded version of that old figure. And there's always the chance that they could make the skinnier version of Iron Man on the same body just by replacing the forearms and boots. That's all they really have to do. So there's that. So that's story time with where I got it figured. Now we're going to look at Iron Man in the package. It comes with some extra hands as usual, repulsor blast as usual, and then these new sort of energy smoke effects. I like that. And on the back, you got the smoke effects being highlighted. And then you got some text. Following a devastating loss to Firepower, Tony Stark pours his skill into designing an experimental new suit to defend Stark Industries. So there you go. There's Iron Man and his package. We're going to get him out and see what we can see. Okay, so we've got Iron Man Model 9 out of the package, and he's looking pretty great. He's definitely using some old parts. He has pins in his legs, which I'll show here in a minute. And if you're a long time viewer, you already know I don't really care about pegs that much, but it's worth showing that they're still using old figures. I'm assuming the legs that this Iron Man has are, basically just old Iron Man legs. But it's not really hurting anything. It looks good, nice and red and shiny, and it definitely evokes the time in Marvel Comics, the very late 90s, very late 80s, very early 90s, where this suit was worn. And he's part of a couple of Avengers rosters. So this suit was on the West Coast Avengers as well as the Avengers, because he switched back to New York in that appearance. And then, of course, there's the Captain America and the Avengers video game, where this version of Iron Man is used in that game. So it was definitely seen by a lot of people, basically. So looking at his accessories, he comes with the repulsor hands, repulsor blasting hands, right and left. Standard repulsor blast that we probably all have a bunch of. But then he comes with these new repulsor effects that I don't think I've ever seen. They peg into his, there's a little peg there to go into his hands, like so. So it's like post repulsor blast, and I think that's cool. I like it. More stuff like that, and of course you can use those on other Iron Mans that have the repulsor blasting hands. Looking at Iron Man up close, he's nice and bright yellow and red, bright red, blue repulsor, unibeam, and there is marbling on the red, but I'm not the guy who, it's an action figure. I'm not expecting like real world whatever out of these figures. So to me though, it looks fine, and he's pretty posable. So he has the pauldrons on his shoulders that do restrict him a little bit. He's got a very generous ab crunch. Back. And because it looks like he's using standard Iron Man legs, he has pins in his legs, but he poses pretty good. So he's definitely a fun little figure to play with, play around with. I like what they've done with him. He's really good. So we'll do some quick comparisons and get you out of here with some final thoughts. All right, so for comparisons, we've got the cast of the Captain America, the Avengers video game. Hawkeye, Captain America, Vision joining Iron Man. And they also serve as comparison pieces for guys that were with him on the West Coast team and the East Coast team. So he looks great with these guys. Poses very nice, and I'm very happy with it. So I think we can move on to final thoughts. Final thoughts on Marvel Legends, Iron Man Retro Card Wave, Iron Man Model 9. I really like this guy. Once again, it's a figure that seems to be a little bit better in hand than um, how it is in the package. He's very faithful to the comic appearance, and you know, because I'm a Marvel Legends comic book buying dude, you know, that's kind of what I look for in a figure. So it's another Iron Man. You know, I now have more Iron Mans than any other single character, Spider-Man included. And, you know, while Iron Man is definitely, I guess I would call him a top 10 Marvel character, he still holds more figures in my collection than sort of like my love for Iron Man. So, do I love Iron Man? Sure, I love Iron Man. But do I love Iron Man as much for all the Iron Mans that I have in my collection? Probably can't say that. Nevertheless, this is a great figure of a great version of Iron Man, and maybe they'll make another one that has the sort of skinnier look, as I mentioned a little bit earlier. But this will do for now. I'm going to give them a 9 out of 10. It's a pretty great figure, and you see him in Ross for $12.99. He's certainly worthy of a $12.99 pickup, if not the $24.95 that I paid. So that's going to do it for this one. If you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe. We're working our way up slowly and steadily to 1,000 and beyond. So certainly love to have you for the ride. I appreciate everybody who stops by and watches a video. So, you know, you have my thanks. In the new year, we've got a lot of stuff planned. So please come back. And happy figure collecting. Till next time, everybody stay safe. Peace.
The way I got it figured.